The AIDS Healthcare Foundation was established in 1987 as a place for AIDS patients to find good end-of-life care in a time when many hospitals weren't even interested in treating them. Today, that's luckily no longer the case, but the foundation is still around. They provide a wide variety of healthcare services out of clinics and pharmacies to more than 1 million people in 43 different countries. In 2016 alone, they took in $372 million, making them possibly the best funded and most powerful AIDS charity in the world. AHF fund research on antiretrovirals. They support legislature that will lower drug prices despite the fact that they make most of their money from their pharmacies. They support increased access to condoms, and they give away free condoms at many of their locations, and they strongly encourage cheap and easily accessible STD testing. What an amazing organization, right? Surely there's nothing I could say to make you think that this organization is in fact kind of terrible and needs to be reined in. But, I'm going to try. Michael Weinstein was one of the original founders of the organization and is today CEO of AHF. Usually nonprofits get their money from grants, from big donors. They're beholden to some other larger group of people. But in this case, AHF is designed to work like a private for-profit business. It's a nonprofit, but its money comes from a chain of pharmacies and its insurance business. This means that Weinstein isn't really beholden to anybody, and so he can use the organization to do pretty much whatever he wants. And sometimes that's good, and as you're about to see, sometimes that's very, very bad, because Weinstein has decided to use his multi-million-dollar AIDS foundation to campaign against the AIDS pre-exposure prophylaxis, or PrEP, known most often by its brand name Truvada. It's a pill that you can take every day that reduces your chances of getting HIV by 99%. It really does work that well. The only way to lower the success rate is to not actually take it according to your doctor's orders. This is one of Weinstein's major problems with it. He and AHF argue that no one should be encouraged to take PrEP because they won't follow directions, but they will continue to have risky, unprotected sex, which, while still believing that they're protected. And that, he says, is actually going to lead to more infections of both HIV and other STDs. It is an interesting argument, but it has, luckily, no basis in science. It's been 6 years since PrEP was first approved for the American market, and since that time, we've actually seen a stunning drop in HIV transmissions among the populations that are currently using PrEP. Contrary to Weinstein's opinion, people are taking the drug properly. Kaiser Permanente here in California tracked 5,000 of their patients who took PrEP and for one single year, and they found that not a single person got HIV. A few people they tracked who declined to take the drug did contract HIV. And despite the fact that some studies suggest that, yes, some people who take PrEP do become less likely to want to wear condoms during sex, other STI rates are still actually going down along with HIV among the people taking the drug. Researchers think that that's because PrEP healthcare includes regular STI screenings, allowing doctors to catch and treat infections before they can get passed on. So Weinstein's fears are completely unfounded, but he continues to wage a campaign against PrEP. Somewhat ironically, or not ironically at all really, his actions are in effect a self-fulfilling prophecy. If the largest AIDS healthcare organization in the world tells the at-risk community that, which is mostly men having sex with men, that they shouldn't bother with PrEP, that will interfere with uptake. It effectively removes an important tool from the toolbox of combating HIV and AIDS. In fact, there is one big issue with PrEP that Weinstein is right about. The lack of uptake by one of the most at-risk communities, Black men who have sex with men. African Americans make up half of all new infections, but account for only 10% of users of Truvada. Uptake is also low in the South, where the HIV scourge is particularly bad. Gosh, if only we could reach out to this marginalized group somehow. If only, I don't know, if the biggest AIDS charity in the world could help educate them and about the science of PrEP and then provide them with the medicine at an affordable rate. AHF has that opportunity, but they're not taking it because their CEO is an ideologue who absolutely refuses to trust the science on this issue. I'm talking about healthcare again, so you pretty much know where I'm going here. Universal healthcare. We already know we can't trust private industry to save us. And I think that this story is a really good example of how we can't even trust the charitable sector to save us. We need a healthcare system that prioritizes and treats our poorest, most marginalized people, the most at-risk members of our society with the basic medicine they need. And I won't spend any time here talking about how much money we would all save if the U.S. switched from private industry to universal healthcare, but FYI, we would save a lot of money. But I will point out that giving at-risk people PrEP pills is scientifically proven to save us millions of dollars simply by preventing new infections. One study found that giving just 13 people the PrEP pill for 1 year was enough to prevent one new extremely expensive HIV infection. A science-based universal healthcare system is all we need to finally completely eliminate HIV/AIDS. Shout out to California State Senator Scott Wiener for drawing my attention to AHF this week as he continues to fight them on both their PrEP denialism as well as their anti-housing initiatives. Oh yeah, that's a whole thing too that Weinstein is doing. Basically, he's trying to stop more buildings in LA from going up to provide housing to people. I don't have the time for that in this video. Go check out Wiener's Twitter feed. Link is over on my Patreon. You can find it below.